Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of Spot Monkey Radio Live. That's Brandon. I'm Tony. Malik is not joining us. He might join us later. Uh, be quite honest with you, we were just going to record an episode and just talk about
everything. It's not like there's been any interesting news that's happened in this first 2 weeks of 2023.
Psycho ass Vince McMahon. I'll try to reset my Discord. There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, so Jay Briscoe just passed away in a car accident. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, sad. Guy was 38. Guy was my age.
Yeah, man. You never want to see somebody cut down that young. Obviously, there's no other information that's being given out.
It was, as I said, it was around 5:30. The Laurel, Maryland police reported a road closure due to a fatal car accident. 2 people died. I don't know if that's 2 people, including Jay Briscoe or Jay Briscoe and one other person. But yeah, Meltzer reported that it was a car accident. It was weird. It was Tony Khan was the one that released the information to the public.
Well, I assume he got that information first, considering
I mean, if it happened around 5, that was only like 4 hours after we're recording it, so it's enough time to tell the families and get it out there. I mean, it's sad. Because by all accounts, I only met him one time at the only ROH show I've ever been to, and they did like this little like meet and greet as soon as you walked into the old ECW building.
Yeah,
and they were mostly like, obviously they had to be there. They weren't doing it because, they weren't being paid to, but. They said he was very cool to me and Burhan. He was like, amazed. He was amazed that Burhan came all the way from England to watch a Ring of Honor show, but we didn't tell him that was not entirely why he was. The ROH show was literally just an excuse to give us something to do that day. But it was pretty cool. Him and his brother both.
I was never a fan of them in the ring. But I did know that they were, athletic dudes. They were, and they made their mark in terms of
in a period of time when there wasn't like a true tag team specialists. Like they were before the Young Bucks. They were before FTR. There wasn't kind of that like gray period where there wasn't anybody like this standout tag team. I think they were that team.
And weren't they were headed for TV, and then Jay said something stupid on Twitter or some shit, right?
He was ROH champion. This was like a couple of years ago, 2013, 2014, I think. And he had said something inflammatory about the gay community. And that was basically the end of his title run. I remember Sinclair shortly thereafter. I don't remember if they stripped him of the title or they just like made him drop the title almost immediately.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was more than just a tag team guy, because how many tag team guys went on to win singles titles in Ring of Honor?
True.
So it sucks, when anybody that young passes away.
Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. I know you inspired a lot of this young generation that's coming up now. I know a lot of them are going to be. You left a mark on their lives, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to be, really hurt by this and affected by this.
I mean, those early. You could make the argument that Ring of Honor doesn't get to the level that they get to, because after everybody left Ring of Honor, they stayed, and they kept that ship going, and they were mainstays of that company, up right up until today.
That's one thing I gotta give them credit for.
Yeah, they never. Not saying that there was probably a ton of interest from other companies, but
they stick around.
They helped make that company what it is today.
Well, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, man. Condolences to his family, because he was for all his faults, he was a family man through and through. Like he was a tag team. It was in a tag team with his brother. They still worked on their family farm. Like they still maintained real jobs.
Yes, very true.
So,
Very true.
you know,
Like I said, out of all the ROH people, him and his brother were the only ones that I like. If I had to pick fans of ROH wrestlers, there's only a few, but he's in the handful. Like
they weren't like everybody else,
Yeah.
all their contemporaries at that time when ROH was coming up, because everybody else was doing a lot more either like technical kind of stuff or spot kind of wrestling. They were just guys that came in and just beat the hell out of people.
Yeah.
And you know, tough as Jim Ross would say, tougher than $3 steak.
Like I said, they made ROH seem, I don't want to say legit, but it seemed
Credible.
Yeah,
Credible.
Yeah, credible, I guess.
Like
they had guys. These guys would like they make you suspend your disbelief and make you think that they would really fight.
yeah, I mean, for a period of time, they were probably the best tag team in the world.
Yeah.
Like, because it was kind of like a lost art where you had guys like the Motor City Machine Guns, stuff like that. But I thought the Briscoes were, probably a better team, or at least a more believable team, that they were actually tough guys. Like they lived their gimmicks,
Yeah.
or they weren't gimmicks. Those was just them. Like they would be like, if they weren't in wrestling, they'd be getting in bar fights in Delaware.
For sure. They definitely lived their dream though of being professional wrestlers and chicken farmers.
A very unique dream, yes.
Because he didn't have to do much, But
yeah,
like I said, listen, I never really met them. I've been around the wrestling business for a while. I never really crossed paths with them because I never went through ROH. But I heard, good things about them. I never heard anything bad about them.
Yeah, like I said, me and Burhan, two complete strangers, never been in fucking ECW, never been to the ECW ring, never been to an ROH show before. I kind of literally said to him, "It's like, whoa, you could feel the energy in this place," and they were just like, "Yeah, man, this is this is the home of wrestling on the East Coast, essentially." Like I said, I can't say anything negative about the interaction that I had with them one night in mid-December in 2015.
You really can't, because they weren't bad guys.
No, they weren't. But they weren't bad guys. Like
I never heard anything. Never, apart from that tweet shit.
Yeah. I'm not getting into like with their political views and the religious views.
Absolutely.
Like, that's everyone's entitled to their opinion. And he was even very conciliatory about, what he does. I'm sure he probably regrets saying some of the things he did.
I'm sure,
because it did cost him a, obviously the biggest moment of his career, or it like hampered that biggest moment of his career. But I mean, it sucks. It just sucks.
Just putting that post of Jay Briscoe to our baseball's finished YouTube right now. I mean, Instagram.
And put it up on the Facebook too as well. Yeah, man, I'm sure we'll know more. Like, obviously, the details more will come out. But as we record this now at 9:30 on Tuesday, nobody really knows much other than it was an automobile accident in Laurel, Maryland.
Yeah, no one's reading anything else.
Yeah, and that's basically all Twitter. Like, Twitter is just becoming enormously positive. People are just like, "Oh my god!" It's stunned. It's like that's what happens. Like when somebody in this community dies, we're all just kind of like stunned. And
well, he's first off, he's 2 years younger than me.
He's literally, I didn't see when exactly he was born, but we were born the same year. We were both 38 years old.
2 years younger than me, so that's crazy to hear. But at least, I mean, listen, I hate to say it, but it was a car accident, so it might have happened suddenly. It's nothing he could control. It wasn't like a heart attack or a health issue. It was,
obviously, anytime a wrestler dies early, you assume it's some sort of overdose or something like that.
That's what I'm saying, or suicide.
Like that we can rule that out. Gives us some sort of,
Just hope that the car accident was an accident and nothing was.
Yeah,
there was no foul play or anything involved.
nefarious. Yeah,
That's what
but
I hope it's just, and I hope the man can rest in peace, and I hope
I hope the
that,
family, because
I
again,
hope his
like you
brother
said,
will be okay. I hope his whole family's gonna be okay. I
yeah.
hope that they'll give him a ton of tributes in the weeks to come.
Oh, they'll definitely do an in memoriam package on Dynamite tomorrow for sure. That is, if it's not finished already in the AEW production department, it's in the works.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll get like the 10-bell salute, but I'll definitely get an in memoriam.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what other people in the business say. Like FTR. FTR was, I mean, talk about going out on a high note. Yeah, they arguably had the best matches of their career with FTR, and then
That's why it's crazy because they were just talking about how great that match was with them too.
yeah, people were calling it a late match of the year candidate.
Yeah. Fucking balls, man.
I know. Do you want to segue into happier news?
Yeah, sure.
So one of the things we missed, and we almost did an emergency podcast for, the WWE might have been sold or is in the process of being
Yeah,
sold.
I just think Vince McMahon is just kind of fed up with the board. You know what I pictured in my head was that scene from Spider-Man with Norman Osborn. That's what I picture. You know how much I sacrificed. And you could see Vince screaming that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is absolute. Like, if you say Spider-Man, I say this reminds me of an episode of Succession. Like, this is straight out of that show.
No one's pushing me out. No one's pushing me out what I create and what I built. Fuck you.
Yeah. And I'm going to get either the most money for it.
I told everybody he went out against his will. There was no way he went out. There was no way that was willingly.
I think. Well, I think he left because he was afraid of what else might come out, and it didn't want to affect the stock price and the reputation of the company any further. Then it's been a couple of months since that, because that happened in. They did SummerSlam earlier this year, so it's like late July. I feel like, right?
I think so.
No, SummerSlam was later. SummerSlam was like towards Labor Day.
SummerSlam was July 31st.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. I thought it was later.
No, it was July 31st because
we did
it was right in the middle of the summer. I said, I don't know why they don't do this more often, because it's usually in August, but it wasn't this year. It was in the middle of July.
Yeah. So it's been less than 6 months. There's been reports of him being seen around New York City with a unnamed female. And what else is this guy gonna do? I think he realized he got bored of just doing whatever he's been doing, and realized that, I could have weathered this storm. People were thinking, the people were treating this like it was going to be like a Harvey Weinstein situation, and when it really hasn't, or at least not yet, there's still the
speculation.
The HBO Real Sports piece has yet to come out, and I'm assuming the Wall Street Journal probably has more dirt. They're just trying to do the journalistic due diligence to get it done. But when it broke that he was trying to come back, it's straight out of Succession, man.
Vince McMahon lives the pro wrestling lifestyle.
Yeah, he's a guy who really has what else does he? It's not like he has a life outside of this. But this was a guy, from all we realize, sleeps 4 hours a night.
Yeah, if you thought he was going to go out and quietly, it wasn't going to happen.
Now, what's crazy to me is if the story that broke, it was around this time last week when the internet lost their collective mind, because there was the reports that they were going to sell it to the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and people went cuckoo bananas.
Yeah, because I think it wasn't that he was going to sell it. I think he was just like, I'll sell my shit to them right now. It's probably what he threatened to do.
The way he got back on the board is he said he would reject any deal for the media rights that he didn't have a hand in negotiating. So it was a total power play. He's like, I'm negotiating. You're going to give me what I want, which is my spot back on the board, or me as the majority shareholder, who he still technically owns 80% of the company. I'm not going to give my approval to any deal for any sort of TV rights or anything else. And then the sale thing kind of crept in there. It was kind of like or sale. And then when the Saudi story kind of, it wouldn't say leaked because we were really like, it's not like DAZN gave away sources or anything else like that, or the people from Body Slam gave out any sources. I think people were like, they're testing the waters is basically what, because of anybody that could sell it, you got to go look at, there's 3 main types of buyers. It's going to be a major media company like Comcast, like there are people that say Disney could be interested in it because Disney has like Comcast makes sense because they're the main rights holder for like the viewing, the media rights and stuff like that. So why continuously have to pay this company for the rights to own the content when you could just buy the content straight out?
Yeah.
Disney makes sense because they could do everything that Comcast does. They also have experience in running live events. Comcast has no experience in running live events. Amazon, the same thing, a big tech company, like they're just collecting media properties and content for their own streaming networks. Number 2 would be a Gulf state oil, like petro money coming in. And that to me is the odds-on favorite, and for one reason and one reason only, because Vince could sell it to the Saudis, and the Saudis are just going to let him do whatever he wants to do. Like, they don't care. They don't care about how the company's run. They just want that. Like, it's a flex to them to own this major thing. Like, the Saudis wanted fucking Yokozuna and Andre the Giant for these shows. Like, they don't nothing. They wanted nothing. They know nothing about the wrestling business, live events, or anything else like that. To them, it's a flex.
I read something today though that Vince McMahon now has all the power again. He like all the directors.
Yeah. He's the chairman. I mean, Triple H is still in control creatively for now.
Yeah.
That's the key word in that sentence. For now.
You know that meme that kept being shown around where it's like Vince watching Triple H's new WWE and he shows him in the rocking chair looking at everything. I honestly believe that he was actually probably doing that. What is he doing to my creation? What is all this crap? And
who is LA Knight? What happened to Maxine Dupree?
I released all these crap.
Who's that fat guy with all the tattoos?
Yeah, what is this garbage?
Wait, Wyatt pitched that idea years ago. Yeah. You're gonna let him actually do it? We're done with the spooky Mr. Rogers stuff.
Oh my God, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah, man. It's again, I'm not gonna go on the go out on a limb and make any bold predictions, but if I had to handicap it, it would be Comcast, Disney, and then the Saudis or some other Gulf state. Because usually when one of those Gulf states gets involved, they all try to get involved because they're all competing with each other to own this big shiny thing and add it to their investment portfolios, or just to say they own it. This hallmark of Western culture. They own it. And if they buy it, if the Saudis end up being the winner of the bid, Vince is going to take the company private, and Vince is going to just run the show until the day dies.
If he took the company private, you think he would just immediately go, "I'm going to bring back the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club"? That's right.
He could.
I know.
Absolutely. If he does that, there is nobody he is beholden to anymore. There's
the Attitude Era is back.
There's no shareholders. There's no nothing. But again, if this does happen, there's going to be a backlash because there's going to be certain people and certain companies that won't want to be associated with something that's owned by a country that indirectly helped fund 9/11. just call it what it is. I'm not saying Saudi princes were in the planning stages of Osama bin Laden's war room, but they definitely were the home of a lot of those guys. and there's a lot of money tied into that Al Qaeda organization that came from Saudi Arabia, and it's going to be a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
If they own it, like you're going to see, The Rock is never going to have anything to do with fucking WWE.
Yeah, you
again.
might actually lose some wrestlers like Sami
You're
Zayn.
not. You're going to lose Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn has spoken out publicly about what's going on in Yemen and Syria. Anybody with any sort of Hollywood or ambitions beyond WWE is probably going to be like, peace out. Or just run their contract down and just not resign.
Yeah.
And it will have major backlash.
Well, I don't think he's going to sell to the Saudis. I think
here's the thing of my third one, and my third one is really a wild card. My Shad Khan mustache.
Yeah, everybody's saying that AEW might buy it, and come on,
enough. That's the dark horse in all this, because they're the only group that could compete with the Saudis as far as money wise, and where there wouldn't be the backlash as opposed to the public investment fund.
I just don't see the McMahon selling.
It's way too early in the process.
Yeah.
Like he's only been on the back end of the board like 2 weeks. Usually these things are going to take some time. That's why, like, when the Saudi story came out, my white flag went up. Like, I'm detecting a little bit of bullshit here, because any deal that would be made has to be ratified by the board of directors.
Yeah.
Like, has to. Like, so they would have to take it, and they would have to take all the information. Like, if the Saudi deal is $1 less than any other bidders, Vince McMahon can't accept it. Like, no matter what he would want to do, he owes it, as I give this word I like to throw around, fiduciary responsibility as chairman to get the most money he can for the shareholders. It's legal. He's like, he has a legal compulsion to do so, or else he's in deep shit, and I don't know, like jail time, but he's definitely not going to be chairman of the company anymore after that.
This is my creation, and I'm going to kill it.
I don't know if it's going to kill it, but it's definitely going to be a gunshot. Like, yikes. There's also now reports now that various people are suing him. Like, apparently the Detroit Fire and Police Union is we're major investors in the W. Like, that's where their pension, I guess, is tied up in. And they're suing Vince McMahon. There's been 2 legal filings to try and prevent him from, or like trying to get wrest control from the company away from him.
Wow.
So this is going to be going on for at least the next couple of months.
Yeah.
This speculation and all this other stuff.
I think it's just going to get uglier before it gets.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. And if, like, whenever the Real Sports piece comes out, like, that's going to be probably pretty damning. I mean, people thought the documentary was going to be, the Vice documentary was.
It was not at all.
Okay, the Vice documentary didn't really show you anything that us wrestling fans didn't already know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like new great accusations. Like, maybe if Sunny needs to cash in and needs some more money in her commissary account, like, she comes out and says stuff, or like, any woman who's worked for the company comes out and like drops bombshells on it.
Sunny has sex like she was taking advantage at some point.
Well, I mean, it would certainly explain her post-career behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Sunny, my the Mighty of Fun. I was watching Running at Raw from 1996 and 7, and my gosh, she was the hottest woman alive at that point.
Oh no, she's single-handedly responsible for an entire generation of male wrestling fans' sexuality. Like,
for sure,
she increased the gay population of men our age by 90%. I don't know. I'm just making jokes, but
sick bastard.
Like, she's directly responsible for so many men being straight,
Yeah.
or indirectly responsible.
Well, I saw that Mercedes
Money.
debuted in Japan.
Yeah. Boy, was that underwhelming.
I could have told you that. First off,
It's
you can't do your finishing move in high heels. I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
told her that.
Oh, it wasn't even that. It was like some new move that she tried
No,
to do.
it was some spinning out DDT that you needed to be flat. You needed to have
Yeah.
flat feet.
And it was like a timing issue. Like her and Kyrie didn't have their timing down right, and like the fact that there's only so many women that work New Japan from Stardom, and you knew that this was going to be the moment when it was going to happen. And they did it very AEW style. Like the lights went out in the
Always.
Tokyo Dome,
Always.
and like then they had this like thing on the screen, and then she comes out in a car and walks to the ring. Like she was, took it very seriously. The presentation was okay. The promo was
Not good. I listened to it.
wasn't great.
No.
The she botched the spot, or they both botched the spot. I won't put it all on her, but it was just kind of.
I would, because the move is stupidly. It's
complicated. Yeah, more complicated than it needed to be. She had a good finishing move in the first place, and a move that people were widely familiar with.
Yeah.
Why use this opportunity?
Because you're in the Indies now, and this is what she's always wanted.
Well, you can't really call New Japan an indie. New Japan is a major company.
Yes, you're right, but you know what I mean.
It's the third biggest wrestling company.
This is her trying to reinvent herself.
Her trying to be a star without the WWE machine behind her. Like, okay, the WWE machine created her. Mandalorian, being a bit part in the Mandalorian, took her to another level where more people might have been aware of her. This is her trying to go out on her own. It's her betting on herself, is what it is. And I'm not gonna fault her for doing that.
No, absolutely not. But she's just got to get better.
It says a lot. I mean, they're touting that they sold out the building in San Jose where they're going to have their match, but I did like a tertiary bit of research, and that's only like a 3,000 seat building. It's not like she sold out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it's not like 20 plus.
And it's not like the card is like based around them. Like Okada's going to be on this show. This is like it's a major show for New Japan in America.
They're just on it.
She's I like maybe she'll be like second or third main event. Yeah, because I don't know if it's for the IWGP Women's title.
It is.
Okay, so they'll be up there on the card, assumedly. I mean, on Wrestle Kingdom, Kairi Sane and whatever her name, the other girl's name was, I made the joke that was she related to Bull Nakano. They were like the second match on the card. I'm assuming in America she'll be further up the card.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hate on a person for betting on themselves and
well, good luck. I mean, I wasn't impressed with the thing. Although I was never really impressed with her in WWE, so I just don't think her indie or
her post WWE career is going to like you're not going to be interested now.
No,
you weren't interested before.
Yeah, no. If Charlotte Flair would have left, I would have been interested to see.
Did you see? Here's the thing. This is completely an aside, but the night Ric Flair was in attendance, the night Charlotte Flair won the title, but left to go party with some hockey players, and then she called up. She's like, "Where are you?" Rick didn't even know she was there, and that was what was going to happen. He was just doing his thing, and then continuing with the rest of his night as planned.
That man is just Ric Flair 24/7.
Yeah, no. He's somebody who like the gimmick and the person.
You know what I like? What I see in my head is like that scene in Step Brothers where Will Ferrell's burying John C. Reilly. It's Ric Flair burying Richard Fleur.
That happened decades ago.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, "What are you doing? I'm burying you. I'm alive. Shut up! You're waking the neighbors."
Hey. Like that happened years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like he just hit him with a shovel, threw him in a hole, and just buried him. He's like, "You're Ric Flair now."
That happened in like 1979, like, or like
Crazy.
whenever the height of the Horsemen were. That was divorce number 2.
Yeah,
That was
that's sick, dude. That is fucking crazy.
yeah.
Is that all that's happening in the current news of wrestling?
Uh, yeah. Other than that's basically the long and the short of it that I can remember off.
I
the top
saw
of my
that
head.
Cody Rhodes is announced for the Rumble, which is cool.
Yes.
So I assume Cody Rhodes is going to win the Rumble. We'll probably do a watch along for the Rumble. When is the Rumble?
29th, I want to say. Hang on. Do some mid-show producing. January 28th. It's a Saturday.
Awesome, even better. I have nothing to do that day. We'll definitely do a watch along. We have BCW the next day. So, well, that's it for us on Spot Monkey Radio. I think 39 minutes is good enough just to talk about Vince's insanity.
Jay Briscoe.
Sasha Banks' mediocrity, and the surprise.
No, we got to call her by her proper name. It's Mercedes
Money. Yes, but rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Is very sad to hear what happened. I hope to God that we don't find out any other news that's going to have to maybe pull down pictures and stuff.
Yeah, that's or like we want to remember him for a positive note.
Yeah, so to his family, his brother, I send all my
condolences.
Yeah,
all that.
Spot Monkey Radio. That's Brandon. I'm Tony. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Money.
Yeah.
Money. You need it to get a bunch of money.